Next question comes from our audience. The voters of California have voted twice against same-sex marriage. How and why does the legislature continue to try to push this on their constituents? And what is your personal view of same-sex marriage?
My personal view, this is a loaded question for a pastor, huh? My personal view is, turn in your Bibles, please. My personal view is I support marriage as being defined as one man with one woman. Now, personally, we didn't go far enough, and it should be for life. The divorce rates are out of control. The people of the state of California on 2 occasions have voted and said what their definition of marriage in this state is to be. Now, I'm a strong 10th Amendment guy, and I'm a strong state rights guy. And I'll be intellectually honest here. If the people of the state of California on 2 occasions would have said that they support gay marriage, then I would have said, you know what, I don't like it personally, but the state has spoken in this regard, and so California will be this way. And so I support what the people of the state have done, and I don't think that the legislature or any judge has the right to overturn we the people.
Mr. Clegg, go ahead and answer that.
Thank you. Plessy versus Ferguson in 1890 established the idea of separate but equal. They also separated the races in marriage. It allowed states across the South to keep people from being married because of their race. And decade after decade, that law was reaffirmed. It was finally overturned in, I believe it was a Virginia decision in 1969, where the Supreme Court said people were free to marry who they choose. I don't want to be unclear about this. I feel that people should be free to marry who they choose. I've been married happily for 22 years. Okay, I should know that. Next month. This month, I'm sorry. And I want to tell you, I want to tell you that it is the greatest joy of my life, having a family. But that doesn't mean that people who are having a marriage of the same sex cannot enjoy the same benefit. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Stone.
Thank you. I supported Prop 22 when I was mayor of the city of Temecula and actually put it on the agenda. I was a strong proponent of Prop 8. I believe in marriage between a man and a woman. This country was founded on family values and religious freedom. And we need to continue the fight and not sit back while our initiatives have passed. The people have spoken, but I am going to remain adamant that marriage should be between a man and a woman.
Thank you. Last microphone here, Mr. Jones.
There was a nuance of the question that I missed. Would you mind repeating?
No problem. The voters of California voted twice against same-sex marriage. How and why does the legislature continue to try to push this on their constituents, and what is your personal view of same-sex marriage?
Okay, thank you. Well, the problem that we have with the legislature trying to keep pushing this is we have a stronger lobbying group in Sacramento that promotes homosexual marriage than we do a lobbying group that promotes traditional marriage. If those of us that support traditional marriage want traditional marriage to stand in California, we need our voices to be heard. We need to make our voices louder than the lobby that's trying to tear it down. And I believe that when you tear out the fabric of our society, and a basic thread of that fabric is traditional marriage, the rest of the society is going to go with it. And I believe that the homosexual agenda, the homosexual marriage agenda, is an attack on our families, it's an attack on our freedoms, and it's an attack on our society, our culture, and it will lead to the destruction of the America we love if we allow it to go through. Thank you.
To Mr. Hanson, please.
I support basic human rights for all people. I also respect the will of the voters.
I think the basic nature of the question was, how do people feel when the legislature forces their will, which is obviously against the will of the people, by initiative? And I think people are very concerned about that. America is an exceptional place. America is a place where the will of the people is really what rules. And in this case, in this instance, although it's a very emotional decision, and I understand both sides of the argument very well, and it's painful, I think the people have been very clear that they want traditional marriage to stand and they want that protected. I think it's my job as a legislator, if I were to be elected, to represent the people of this district in the way that they would wish to be represented. I think we have to be really careful about activism in the legislature and especially with judges. And that's why it's really important who the legislature, what the legislature pushes, and whether or not we are really representing the will of the people.
Thank you. Ms. Rubin.
I personally support marriage between a man and a woman. I supported Prop 22 and Prop 8.
All right, go ahead and pass the microphone to Mr. Jones, and let's get our next question here. Those are a great audience. I appreciate the questions. They're very good. Let's go to another push button issue.